What's up, guys? It's Stefan with Circles, and today we're going to jump into the Dead 1975 song session. I have had so many people, and this isn't an exaggeration, I've had so many people ask me about stuff in this song. Thank you. That's very flattering. And so we're going to open it up, and I'm going to show you basically everything I did to make this track. So the session that we have in front of us is just if you go back, actually, this is the raw recordings and samples that we did. You can see here's all my edits of everything. And so this mix that I have going on is the exact mix that ended up being the print for all the samples and loops. So that's kind of cool. And so what I did is I just copied over some of the tracks at the end here to like write this song, and this ended up becoming a loop and fill in and of itself, which we can get into. So this is it. This is the mix for everything. So let me just play. Here's the track. That's it. It's pretty ripping. Let's get into the drums themselves. So here's just the drums. So very, very dry, very heavy playing. Let's hear each individual, and we can kind of explain what's going on with all these mic sources. So first of all, this is recorded in a very tiny room, not a professionally treated room, just a room with a bunch of blankets. So it's super dead, super dry. 70s drums. We had a Keplinger snare, and then my 1969 or 1970 Ludwig. Yeah, just dead, super dead. So pretty standard setup. Here's the kick in, kick out. See, we got some SPL Transient Designer and just a little Brainworks digital EQ. That's without. With. Just tightens it up quite a bit. Snare top. Crispy. Without everything. So snare top, this is the crispy snare top. We've got a regular 57, but just doing a little light EQ on it, that kind of thing. We got another EQ going. Just doing a little bit, and then just a little compression at the end to reduce some of that, harshness, peakiness. Just a little bit, nothing crazy. And this is just a snare top 57. Sounds like a 57. It's without EQ, with the Pro Q3, and with the second EQ. That's doing a lot. That's pushing it pretty hard. And then both of those together. Yeah, pretty crispy. And I should mention, these are all going through this drum bus, which has a lot of stuff on it. So it's got a talkback limiter, SSL G-bus compressor, Soothe 2, another just a LA2 compressor, another EQ, and another Soothe. So this is pretty standard for drums, for our drums in these sessions, to go through some version of this where they're being processed individually and then bussed, and then there's probably even a master since this is a song. Yep, and then a master bus. So that's a whole shitload of stuff. This master bus wouldn't normally be here because this is a song I'm working on versus the samples and loops, but you're going through another EQ, SSL G bus again, Pro Q3, and then just a limiter at the end. Poor man's master. For a lot of this stuff, I'll just disable. If it's going to get mastered, I'll just disable all this shit so it's less loud. I mean, that is murdered. So when it goes to master, I just turn everything off, and so the volumes are low, and I don't piss off the mastering engineer. Okay, so back to the drums. Okay, so you've got all these like standard regular mics, right? And then you've got, nobody cares about the rack tom, floor tom, mono overhead. This is a SM7, I believe. Then you have a stereo print, which is probably a combination of, I believe, overheads and possibly room mics. Sometimes we'll just combine those together if it sounds good, especially if they're going through some sort of outboard analog print. We've got core mic, which is just like a super lo-fi mic that's being smashed with the double lock. That's doing the majority of that sound there. Yeah, a little bit of a gate on that. No EQ from the SSL. And then just a little, nope, nothing. Nothing? Dipping. A lot of dipping there. Cymbal direct. Again, nobody cares about that one. Lo-fi spring print. Yeah, this is just going through spring reverb. You can barely hear that. That gets automated. And then we've got these head radios, which are not on here, but I bumped them in a little bit in certain parts. You can hear it. It's louder here. This is we literally we're crazy. Okay, so we put a mic in the room, ran it through a AM radio transmitter, then re-recorded it back in using a binaural mic that was upside down in front of this stereo radio. It's fucking cool though. So that only comes in some parts. You can hear it here pretty well. Let's hear it. Just adding some balls in that particular section. That's the drums. They sound pretty good. I mean, they're very dry. And it's just the same loop over and over again. Aside from this like intro fill and a couple of fills. That's the drums. Let's hear everything else. Guitar. All right, let's check out the guitar here. This was kind of an accident, honestly. This riff I came up with because I was just tired of this other song idea I had for this pack, and it just wasn't working. So what I did is I just set up a guitar. Probably sounds like drop D tuning, I think it was, and then I will run it through this Blues Breaker, 1962. And a little bit of Pultec on top of that. And I'll just do UAD record on here. So in the console, I can just go straight to recording this tone. So it's basically already like I committed to this tone, whatever it was. And then I came in here. That's the tone. Cut the lows, boosted the highs. Added a gate here. Yep. Just to tighten it up. But that's it. I rarely go straight into to committed like that from the console, but for this one it felt right. Actually, I shouldn't say that. It just happened that way. I wasn't anticipating this becoming like anything. But there's a lot of guitar layers in here that are really cool. Again, most of the cool shit, what I think is cool, is just like a total mistake in recording. So this dry. What this is This, okay, here's what I think I did for this. I committed the guitar. Is it this? No. What happens here a lot of the time is I'll just have like something like this, right? Where it's just a part of a thing, a part of a guitar loop part that just didn't make it, and then I'll just fuck it up. Yeah, so all this is, it's funny to revisit this. All this is what I did is I used Verify, which is an Audio Suite plugin, basically just like a pitch down plugin. Where are you? Verify. Yep. This is in Pro Tools, but I know most of you use like Logic and Ableton and stuff. I'm old school, antiquated dude. But what I do is I just pitch it down. Hear it falling down again. And then it's just chopped up things. That's all it is, and I chop it up to make it feel right with the other guitars. And then I process it to death. So what do we got here? This is without. First step, always double lock. It's louder, it's better. Vinyl, plug-in, this is free. Had to do the 1970 setting. PSP Vintage Warmer, this is a great one just to add a little high drive. Just adding a lot of high drive, actually. FabFilter Pro Q3, pretty extreme EQ. Another double lock. A microshift just to widen it a little bit. Soundtoys microshift. So that together with the guitar sounds pretty bitchin' to me. Let's move on. There's other layers in here too. Yeah, this one's cool. This sounds like it's like a lo-fi radio, pan to the left. And again, I'm usually just chopping up loops and like, I didn't use this one, whatever this was. So the same riff each time, panning it left and right. I kind of decide, I didn't like that one, but I like this one here. It's kind of just a matter of taste. My sessions are messy. I even cleaned this up before doing this video, but they are a mess. So this is another layer here. So what I'll usually do instead of sending like a bus, like I could just do record a guitar riff, send like an aux send to a reverb or something, or a delay, tape echo, whatever. But I usually just prefer to commit stuff. Like this is probably just a committed guitar if I were to guess. Let's listen. Yep, it's just that main riff, and then I just do a fully wet tape echo. That's that. I guess it's not fully wet, but basically. And then Devil Lock, Pro Q3, just making it kind of lo-fi, then a microshift. That's pretty cool. With everything else, it sounds like this. So I'm really just trying to fill the space, make it sound big without adding too much shit. And I'll usually go crazy and then end up deleting half the tracks, but these are the ones that made it. These are the survivors. I didn't have a bass, or maybe I tried a bass and it didn't work. I think that was it. It just felt, too butt rocky. But this is poor man's bass. You don't really need a bass guitar. So this is probably the riff again. Yep. The same riff, pitched down with a little altar boy. Fully wet. Devil Lock. Pro Q3. Pretty surgical. Well, probably should have just turned it down, but whatever. Added a Brainworks sub synth. It's not doing a ton, but it's doing enough. And then I'll put a little room emulation on sometimes, so it sounds like it's more, it's not just like DI. It sounds like it's in someplace. All right, you can see with the drums too, I kind of forgot about these. I had these sort of transitions into the next part, and I felt like I needed a crash, so a lot of times I'll just bring a crash sample in from the session. This is a crash from this library. Every drum sound you hear is in the library, by the way. Every single one. Yeah, or sometimes I'll take a crash and detune it. And this was probably more in the intro. Yep, and there's one more crazy guitar part. Tarantino guitar, as I've dubbed it, which is this. Yeah, so just adding a little more of a flavor here. What is this? This is just a detune. I don't even remember how I did this. Yeah, so as you can see, I'll just write riffs and then choose my favorite parts of them and keep it and then mute everything else. Like this is mostly muted except for just these two little spots. Then I will mutilate it. What do we got? Pitched up, not fully wet. Another EQ. Just cutting a little bit of the garbage. Vintage PSP vintage warmer. Just bringing some life into it. And then another devil lock. Then same thing here. Tape echo, and then a little guitar fall down. Just a little pitch down guitar. Yeah, and then we got the claps and tambourines and stuff, which is, I was probably real lazy. Yeah, I probably just had set up. Probably didn't even set up, just went close to a 57 on the snare or an amp or something and just recorded claps and tambos. I don't try to get too fancy with those, but they just add a little layer of movement, with the drums. Here's everything all jacked up. That's it. That's the track. That's basically everything. Yeah, this is all available in the Dead 1975 library, and all the printed loops, the stems from this session, minus the guitar stuff. All the drum stems are in here as well, so you can play around with those if you want. All in the download. So thanks for watching, and that is the Dead 1975 song.